We're back live from the campus of the College of Staten Island at the CSI Softball Complex, where we're getting ready for game number 3, the first elimination game of the 2018 CUNYAC Softball Championship playoffs, as Baruch College will face Lehman College for the right to play in the opening game tomorrow here at the CSI Softball Complex. For those of you that might have joined us late, first it was the College of Staten Island behind the 2-hit complete game pitching of Nicolette Trapani, who beat Baruch College by a final score of 8-0. Trapani allowing just 2 hits in that game, and then Nicole Gazzone pitching a 5-inning 3-hit, 1-run game as she picks up her victory, and that takes us to game number 3, where Baruch College will be the road team and Lehman College will be the home team. Lehman, the number 3 seed in the tournament, Baruch, the number 4 seed in the tournament. As the umpires head out onto the field, let's bring you the starting lineups for game number 3. First, let's start with the visiting Baruch College Bearcats. Cassandra Lagana will start game number 2 for the Bearcats, and she'll lead off and pitch. Batting second, Gabriel Hueso. She had one of the 2 hits against Nicola Trapani in game number 1. Nicole Bellini will be in center field. She'll bat third. Danielle Petrutny will be catching and batting fourth. Victoria Kissling will start the second for the Bearcats at shortstop. She'll bat fifth. Caitlin Vijas will be at first base. She'll bat sixth. Trey Padron will drop down to seventh in the lineup for Baruch in game number 2. Amba Jagareed will play right field. She'll bat eighth. And Yasmin Rodriguez will start game number 2 player for Baruch, and she'll bat ninth. Ju Young Park will be the third baseman flex player, so she's not scheduled to bat here in this game. For the Lehman College Lightning, it will be Miranda Diaz leading off and playing shortstop. Diamond Villegas will pitch again for the Lightning and bat second. Genesis Polino will be at second base. She'll bat third. Tiffany Adams at first base batting fourth. Caitlin Verdon will be catching and batting fifth. Adrielina Gill will be in right field. She'll bat sixth. Samantha Torres will be the third baseman batting seventh. Stephanie Cruz will be in center field. She'll bat eighth. Lisette Guerrero will be the designated player. She'll bat ninth. And Karen Rivera will be in left field, and she'll be the flex player here in this game for the Lightning. The Lightning just taking the field right now. Has not much time to rest in between starts here for Diamond Villegas. Diamond took the loss in the first game here against Hunter College, so her record will drop down to 8-4, and she's going to face Cassandra Lagana. Lagana pitched in game number 1, but did not have a decision. So it's the Lightning and the Hawks. The Lightning and the Bearcats as we get ready to start game number 3 here at the CSI Softball Complex. 3 games of 4 here at the CSI Softball Complex. Over in baseball, a little bit of a late start, but Finlandia ahead of Baruch College by a score of 7-0. So 3 games on the schedule. Day number 2 at the CSI Baseball Complex. The CSI Dolphins will be in action in the next game at the baseball complex. The women's softball team will play in the winners game against Hunter College here at the conclusion of this elimination game between Baruch and Lehman College. Giving you the Lehman College defense here in this game. It'll be Tiffany Adams at first, Genesis Polino at second, Miranda Diaz at short, Samantha Torres at third. Karen Rivera will be in left. Stephanie Cruz will be in center. Angelina Gill will be around in right field. Caitlin Verda will be up behind the plate. And Diamond Villegas will go right back to the mound for the Lehman College Lightning here in game number 3. So Baruch is getting ready to step in. Cassandra Lagana will lead off here for the Bearcats as we're about to get underway here in game number 3. And the first pitch to Lagana is taken for a ball, 1-0. Cassandra went 1 for 3 in game number 1 for the Bearcats. She had one of the 2 Baruch hits allowed by Nicolette Trapani. And the count goes even now at 1-1. One ball, one strike to pitch. Down low for a ball, 2-1. So the number 1 and 2 seeds heavily favored to make it into the winner's game in day number 1. Both have made it. As it'll be the Dolphins against the Hawks here in game number 4. The final game here this afternoon. 2 balls, 2 strikes to count. The pitch, check swing. And take it for a ball, 3-2. 3 balls, 2 strikes here. Nobody out. Lagana leading off for the Bearcats. And she takes that one way outside for a ball 4. So Lagana draws a base on balls and a good start here for the Bearcats in their second game of the afternoon. Gabrielle Hueso, the batter. As she bunts back to the mound, Villegas guns over to first base in time for the out. So the sacrifice will be successful, 1-3. And Lagana goes down to second base. And now it'll bring up Nicole Bellini. Now with a runner on second base and 1 out. Baruch looking for their first run here in the afternoon. Good start for the Bearcats here. The wind and the first pitch is taken for a strike, 0-1. The wind and the pitch is swung on that, drilled into right field, and that's going to be in for a base hit. Gil will come over to cut the ball off. Coming around and heading in to score will be Lagana. It's an RBI single for Nicole Bellini, and the Baruch Bearcats lead by a score of 1-0 as they come out here quickly in game number 3. Lagana leads off with a base on balls, and she's able to come around to score after the sacrifice, and the Bearcats get their first run of the afternoon, and they take a 1-0 lead. So Danielle Petrucci will be the batter, and the first pitch is a swing and a miss, strike 1. Throw down quickly to first base, not in time. So the Bearcats on the board here quickly. 1 run in, 1 runner on, and 1 out. The wind and the pitch, back bounce to the mound, played there by Villegas. She gets it over to Diaz for 1. Back to first, a beautiful double play that time, turned by Miranda Diaz for the final out. So it was bounded back, a great play. Villegas, a good throw to Diaz. She came up and guns it over to first for the double play, and that will retire the Bearcats in their half of the first inning. 1 run, 1 hit, nobody left, 1 half inning in the books. Bearcats 1, Lightning 0. We'll step aside, take a break, and we'll be right back. We're back and we're getting ready now for the bottom half of the first inning. The Bearcats score their first run of the afternoon as they're able to take advantage of a leadoff walk by Lagana. She was sacrificed to second and came around to score on the one-out single by Nicole Bellini as the Bearcats get on the board for the first time this afternoon, and they will go to the field now with a 1-0 lead. As Miranda Diaz will lead off once again, Cassandra Lagana will be on the mound. And the key for the Bearcats in this game will be to keep Diaz off of the base pads. Miranda scored the one Lehman College run in the first inning, singled, stole 2 bases, and came around to score on a sacrifice fly. So Lagana has her final warm-up toss, and we're about ready to get underway. And before we get underway, let's give you the Bearcats defensively here in game number 3. Caitlin Vijas will be at first base, Che Padron at second, Victoria Kissling will be at shortstop, Yu Young Park at third, Gabrielle Hueso in left field, Nicole Bellini in center, Abba Jagarin around at right, Danielle Petruti on the mound, and Cassandra Lagana, who pitched in game number 1 against the Dolphins but did not have a decision, will be on the mound. So Diaz is getting ready to step in the box. And we're ready for the bottom half of the first inning. And the first pitch to Diaz is taken down low for a ball, 1-0. And mentioned Diaz coming into the doubleheader, batting .488 on the year. She scored her 40th run earlier this afternoon of the season. Lagana winds. The 1-0 is bunted foul, and that'll even the count up now at 1-1. Game number 3 here at the CSI Softball Complex as Lagana winds, and the 1-1 pitch is swung on the net, drilled into center field, and that'll be in for a base hit. So for the second time this afternoon, Diaz starts the game off with a base hit for the Lightning. She'll be at first base now with nobody out, and that's going to bring up the pitcher, Diamond Villegas. Villegas the wind and the first pitch. Diaz going. The throw down to second base will not be in time as Diaz steals her third base of the afternoon, and she'll be on scoring position now with nobody out. And a 1-out count now on Villegas. Game number 3 of 4 here in the 39th CUNYAC Softball Championships as that pitch is taken for a ball, 2-0. If you're Cassandra Lagana here, you want to try to keep concentration on the base pass, on the batter, I should say, as that pitch is up high for a ball, 3-0. And, you know, once again, Lagana making it hard on herself now as she's down in the count, 3-0. Three balls, no strikes. The pitch is down low for a ball. Diaz steals third, and that throw goes into left field, and it's going to go past the left fielder. And Villegas is going to go all the way around now to third base, and now she's going to come around to score. The throw to the plate will not be in time, and boy, oh boy, a base on balls to Villegas, and she's going to come all the way around to score. After Diaz stole third, it was I guess, 2 errors on the play. I'm not sure, but Villegas comes all the way around to score on a walk, and Lehman College leads by a score of 2-1. I don't think I've ever seen that before, as it was a walk and Diaz going from second to third. The throw to third base went into left field. Villegas started to run to first base. It went past the left fielder, and it ended up with Diaz coming home to score easily, but Villegas coming all the way around the bases to score. And it's now a 2-1 Lehman College lead. And, you know, the Bearcats couldn't field the softball in the first game, and it really came back to really make it impossible for them to play with the Dolphins. And their second game here this afternoon not starting off much better, as the Lightning have 2 runs on 1 single here in the first inning. The pitch to Polino is down low for a ball, and that's going to even the count up at 1-1. And that time, Lagana just spent too much time worrying about Diaz, didn't concentrate on the batter, walked her on 4 pitches. As that pitch is inside, on the inside corner for a strike, 1-2. And most times you're better off letting the base runner do what they're going to do and worry about the batter at the plate. As the count now 1-2. The pitch is swung on and skied into center field. Bellini is there, and she makes the catch for the first out. So Polino skies to center field. 1 out here in the bottom half of the first inning, and it's going to bring up the first baseman, Tiffany Adams. Lagana winds. The first pitch is taken down low for a ball, 1-0. Adams came into this doubleheader batting .193. The wind and the pitch is swung on and drilled to right field, foul, and that'll even the count up now at 1-1. Adams went 0 for 2 in the first game for the Lightning. So 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 2 in for the Lightning. They lead 2-1. The pitch is way up high for a ball, 2-1. 2 balls, 1 strike now. As Lagana winds, the 2-1 is at the letters for a strike, and that'll even the count up now at 2-2. Day 1 of the 39th annual CUNYAC Softball Championships. Day 2 for baseball. As that pitch is up high for a ball, and that's going to run the count full now to 3-2. Baruch pitching did a pretty good job in the first game, only allowing 1 base on balls. But now Lagana is going to pick up her second base on balls of the inning. And the Bearcats now will have to defend a runner on first base and 1 out. Baruch leading by a score, trailing by a score of 2-1. As that flung on and blooped into right field, and that's going to be in for a base hit. That's going to roll past the right fielder, Jangarine, going into third base, and getting there standing will be Vernon, or will be Adams, I should say. Vernon will be standing on second base with a double, and the Lightning off to a strong start here in the first inning. 2 runners on now, second and third, still just 1 out, and they already lead by a score of 2-1. And that'll bring up the right fielder, Angelina Gill. Gill showing bunt. She pulls back, and now she drills that one into left field. That's going to be in for a base hit. Coming around to score will be Adams. Now Vernon is going to come around to score, and she's going to make it. It's going to be a 2-run RBI single for Adriana Gill, and the Lightning now lead by a score of 4-1 as Baruch's defensive struggles here continue this afternoon, and Gill is down at second base, still with just 1 out, and it's already 4-1 Lightning. The wind, the first pitch now to Torres is a swing and a miss, 0-1. No balls, one strike now on Torres. She went 0 for 2 in the first game and now falls behind in the count at 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes to count. And the 0-2 pitch is bunted down the first base line, foul. And Torres will be out on strikes, attempting to bunt with 2 strikes for the second out. And that's going to bring up the center fielder now, Stephanie Cruz. Cruz went 0 for 2 in game number 1 for the Lightning. No balls, 2 strikes now the count. Well, no, 0-1 I should say. The pitch is bunted towards third. That pitch was high and out of the strike zone, and she's now down in the count at 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes, the count, as that ball is swung on and blooped into short left field, and that is going to be Kissling to make the catch for the final out of the inning, but not before the Lightning score 4. 1 inning in the books, 4-1 Lightning. We'll step aside, take a break, and we'll be right back. .250 for the Bearcats. The pitch is up high for a ball. She was 0 for 2 in game number 1, and the count even now at 1-1 as Villegas goes out to the mound with a lead. Her first multiple run lead, 4-1, as that pitch is swung on and fouled off over the Bearcat dugout now to play. Kissling now behind in the count at 1-2. The winner of this game will advance into game number 1 of Championship Saturday. Tomorrow morning, as that's a swing and a miss, strike 3. Kissling goes down on strikes. First strikeout for Villegas. The loser will go home, as this is the first elimination game in the CUNYAC Championship. Caitlin Vikas, the batter, the first baseman. The wind and the first pitch is swung on and fouled back, 0-1. Baruch just with 2 hits game number 1. Got off to a good start here in game number 2, taking a 1-0 lead on the Nicole Bellini single, but some challenging defensive plays by the Bearcats. They cost them in game number 1, and they've already cost them here in game number 2, when they find themselves down 4-1. 1 ball, 1 strike to counter. The pitch on the inside corner for a strike, 1-2. Baruch charged with 2 errors here. The wind and the pitch is swung on and fouled off over the Bearcat dugout, out of play once again. The count holds at 1-2. Second baseman Che Padron on deck here for the Bearcats. One ball, 2 strikes. The pitch down low for a ball. That'll even the count up now at 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes to count now. Villegas winds the pitch just down low for a ball. That'll run the count full to 3-2. The 3-2 pitch is swung on and fouled back right up over our heads, out of play. And the count holds full at 3-2. Good at bat by Villegas here, really making Villegas work. With 1 out here in the top half of the second inning. Villegas winds the 3-2 pitch, is swung on and bounced to short, played there by Diaz. The throw over to first base in time for the second out. So Miranda Diaz, who's played very solid defense for the Lightning all day long, makes the play. 2 up, 2 down quickly here for the Bearcats, and that's going to bring up Che Padron, the second baseman for Baruch. The wind and the pitch taken for a strike, 0-1. Che went 0 for 2 in game number 1 and is behind in the count now, 0-1. The wind and the pitch is swung on and fouled back, and the count now goes to 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes to count. And the pitch is a swing and a miss, strike 3. So the Bearcats go in order in their half of the second inning. Second strikeout of the inning and of the game for Villegas. No runs, no hits, no one left. 1.5 innings in the books. 4-1 Lightning lead. We'll step aside, take a break, and we'll be right back. We're back, and we're getting ready now for the bottom half of the second inning. The Lightning lead by a score of 1. Lisette Guerrero, the 9th place designated player, will lead off here for the Lightning. The wind and the first pitch is swung on and tomahawked foul toward the Lightning dugout, and the count goes to 0-1. Lagana back on the mound now for the Bearcats. The pitch is swung on and chopped foul down the third base line, out of play, and the count goes to 0-2. Dolphins need to get better defensive, I should say the Bearcats need to get better defensive play if they're going to be able to stay in this game. The wind, Lagana's pitch is taken down low for a ball, 1-2. One ball, no balls, 2 strikes to count. On 1-2, it's correct. The wind and the 1-2 pitch is taken up high for a ball. That'll even the count up at 2-2. And with the type of this lightning order coming up, you certainly don't want to let the number 9 hitter get on base without earning her way on. The wind and the pitch is tomahawk foul, and the count holds at 2-2. Guerrero coming in batting just 190 on the year, and 0 for 2 in game number 1 will bring that average down a little bit. The pitch is swung on and top toward third, foul once again. The count holds at 2-2. Makes the count. The wind and the 2-2 pitch is hit a little bit harder this time, but foul once again down the third base line, and the count holds at 2-2. So 2 balls, 2 strikes to count. The wind and the pitch is swung on, chop foul, and the count holds at 2-2. So the count holds at 2-2. And here comes the 2-2 once again, taken, strike 3 call. Nice pitch that time by Lagana on the outside corner. Guerrero goes down looking for the first out here in the second, and it'll bring us back to the top of the lineup and the shortstop, Miranda Diaz. Diaz singled, stole 2 bases, and came around to score in the first inning. She's 1 for 1. Diaz, the CUNYAC Softball Player of the Year. The wind and the pitch is swung, skied up in the air at shortstop. Kissling is there, and she makes the catch for the second out. So 2 up, 2 down quickly for the Lightning in their half of the second inning, and it'll bring up the pitcher, Diamond Villegas. Diamond walked in the first inning and came around to score after an error to third base, and then the Bearcats could not get the ball to the plate before Villegas came all the way around the bases to score the second run of the game for Lehman. 1-0 the count now on Diamond. The pitch down low for a ball, 2-0. Final game of this afternoon will be the Dolphins and the Hawks, 1 versus 2. The winner will advance to the second game tomorrow afternoon and need just 1 game to win the CUNYAC championship. As now Lagana struggling with the strike zone once again. She walked Villegas in the first and is now down 3-0 in the count. The wind, the 3-0 pitch is swung on and fouled off, and the count goes to 3-1. Three balls, 1 strike, 2 out, no one on. Bottom of the second, Lightning 4, Bearcats 1. Lagana looking in for the sign. The 3-1 is up high for a ball, ball 4. So Diamond will walk for the second time in 2 innings. The second walk for Lagana. And that's going to bring up the second baseman now, Genesis Polino. Polino flied to center in the first. She's 0 for 1. The wind and the first pitch is swung on, hit hard but foul down the left field line, out of play. 0 and 1. The CSI men's baseball team will look to advance into the championship round. They'll begin at 4 o'clock this afternoon as that ball is popped. And it's in fair territory, and the throw over to first base will be in time. So that time Polino will be out 2-3 for the final out here in the second inning. So for the Lightning, no runs, a walk, 1 left, 2 complete in the books. Bearcats trail 4-1. We'll step aside, take a break, and we'll be right back. We're back, and we're getting ready now for the top half of the third inning. Abba Jagarine will lead off. It'll be Jagarine, Rodriguez, and Lagana. 8, 9, and 1 for the Bearcats. As Jagarine swings and misses at the first pitch, and she falls behind in the count now, 0 and 1. The wind and the pitch is bunted foul, and Amber quickly behind now, 0 and 2. So no balls, 2 strikes to count. As Villegas looks at her wristband, and now she's ready. And the 0-2 pitch is a swing and a miss, strike 3. Actually, she tipped that one. A nice play by Vernon to hold on to the foul tip and get the strikeout for Villegas. The third strikeout of the game for Diamond, and with 1 out and no one on, that's going to bring up the designated player, Jasmine Rodriguez. Rodriguez pinch hit in the 6th inning of game number 1 against the Dolphins and struck out, so she's 0 for 1 this afternoon, and she swings and misses at the first pitch for a strike, 0 and 1. Villegas winds. The 0-1 pitch is swung on, fouled off right over our heads and out of play, and the count quickly goes to 0 and 2. Dolphins win game 1, 8-0. Hawks win game 2, 9-1. Lehman leading game number 3 here, 4-1, as that's grounded foul, and the count holds now at 0 and 2 on Rodriguez. Villegas on the mound now. She's ready. The 0-2 pitch is swung on, foul back, and the count holds at 0 and 2. No balls, 2 strikes to count. Good at bat here, and that pitch is going to be outside for a ball, 1 and 2. Rodriguez making Villegas work. And now working her way back into the count at 1-2. The wind, the 1-2, just inside for a ball. That's going to even the count up now at 2-2. Two balls, two strikes, and the pitch is swung on and fouled off, and the count will hold at 2-2. That's Rodriguez with a good at-bat here against Diamond Villegas. The wind, the 2-2, a swing and a miss, strike three. So good bit of pitching that time by Villegas as Rodriguez made her work, but she kept coming at her. And she's now struck out 3 batters in a row, 4 out of the last 5, and there are 2 outs, no one on, and that's going to bring up the pitcher, Cassandra Lagana. Lagana walked, was sacrificed to second, and came around to score the only Baruch run of the afternoon on the RBI single by Nicole Bellini. And she swings and misses at the first pitch and falls behind in the count now, 0-1. Villegas winds. The pitch is swung on, drilled up the middle. Diaz is there, gets it over to first base in time for the final out. So the Bearcats go down in order for the second consecutive inning. For Baruch in their half of the third. No runs, no hits, no errors, no one left. 2.5 innings in the book. Lightning 4, Bearcats 1. We'll step aside, take a break, and we'll be right back. We're back, and we're getting ready now for the bottom half of the third inning. The Lightning lead in this game by a score of 4-1. All the runs scoring in the first inning. And it's going to be 4, 5, and 6 for the Lightning in their half of the third. Adams, Vernon, and Gill, as they will face Cassandra Lagana. And they try to build on their 4-run lead. And the first pitch to Adams is a swing and a miss, strike 1. Adams walked and came around to score on the 2 RBI single by Adriana Gill in the first inning. And she's down in the count now, 0-1. The pitch is up high for a ball, and that'll even the count up at 1-1. Bringing you every game of the 2018 softball and baseball championships right here on CSI Sportsnet. As that time Adams swings and misses, and the count goes to 1-2. Men's baseball team about to get underway. Finlandia beating Baruch earlier in the first game of game number 2 of the baseball tournament. And the pitch is swung on. That's ripped into left center field. That's going to be in for a base hit. And that's going to roll all the way to the wall. Coming over and cutting the ball off will be Bellini. She gets it back into second base, but standing on second base will be Tiffany Adams. It's a long leadoff double for Adams, and the Lightning in business once again with a runner on second base, no one out, and that's going to bring up the catcher, Caitlin Vernon, who's already doubled in the first inning in game number 2 here this afternoon for the Lightning. Vernon showing bunt, but she pulls the bat back and takes the first pitch up high for a ball, 1-0. Vernon showing bunt. Pulls the bat back and now takes that one up high for a ball, and that'll even the count up at 1-1. One ball, one strike. Adams on second. The wind and the 1-1 pitch is swung, and that's blooped into right field. That's going to be in for a base hit. Rounding third and coming around to score on the play will be Adams as she barely made it home. Vernon ends up on second base. It's going to be a single and an RBI for Caitlin Vernon, and the Lightning now lead 5-1 as that time Vernon blooped the ball into right field. Jangarine trying to get the out at first base, and Adams just kept running around third. She hesitated for a minute, but she was able to come around and score and give the Lightning a 5-1 lead, and that'll bring up Adriana Gill, who already singled home 2 runs in the first. She's 1 for 1. As that's bunted back to the mound, played there by Lagana. The throw over to second base is just in time. Vernon dives back into second. It'll be a sacrifice. That sacrifice will be successful on the play. 1-4. Vernon will go to third. Gill will be the first out, and the Lightning now with a runner on third base, 1 out. They have a 5-1 lead, and that'll bring up Samantha Torres, who struck out in the first. She's 0 for 1. The wind and the first pitch is bunted down the third base line, foul. The count goes to 0-1. One run in for the Lightning here in their half of the third inning. Another runner down at third base. They already have a 5-1 lead. 5 hits for the Lightning here in their second game as they try to stave off elimination and play into tomorrow. The pitch is up high for a ball. That'll even the count up now at 1-1. One ball, one strike to count. Lagana winds. The 1-1 is bunted right back in front of the plate. Played there by Lagana. The throw over to first base in time for the out. The squeeze is successful, though. It'll be another 1-4 sacrifice and an RBI this time for Samantha Torres. And the Lightning now open up their lead to 6-1. So Stephanie Cruz will now be the batter. She popped up to short in her first at-bat. She's 0-1. 2 out now. Nobody off for the Lightning is that's bunted in a perfect position. Lagana will have to hold on to it. It will be a bunt single here for Stephanie Cruz, and the Lightning have a runner on now with 2 out. So the bunt single is successful by Cruz. As we have a little conference at the pitcher's mound as the Lightning using a little small ball here. A leadoff double by Adams. She came around to score on the single to right by Vernon. Gill sacrificed to the second, or to third, I should say, after Vernon went to second on the throw, and then a successful squeeze by Samantha Torres. As the pitch is going to be down low for the ball, the throw into second base is not going to be in time as Stephanie Cruz goes down to second base and steals second. Stephanie steals her 19th base of the year in 21 attempts, and she'll be at second base now with 2 outs. Pitch ruled the ball, so Guerrero ahead in the count now, 1-0. Lagana looking in. The pitch is up high for a ball, 2-0. The dangerous Miranda Diaz on deck here. So Lightning a couple of hits away from breaking this one open. They already lead by a score of 6-1. They've scored 2 here in the third, and that pitch is going to be taken for a strike, 2-1. Two balls, 1 strike as Lagana looking in for the sign. And the 2-1 pitch is bunted on and missed, and going to third base will be Cruz, as that time Guerrero bunted at what could have been ball 3, and that'll even the count up now with 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, a runner on third here for the Lightning. They've scored 2, and the pitch is a swing and a miss. The ball gets away momentarily, but Petrudi able to get it over to Vijas for the final out. So Guerrero strikes out 2-3 for the final out here in the third inning. But the Bearcats pick up, or I should say the Lightning pick up another couple of runs. 3 in the books. Lightning lead 6-1. We'll step aside, take a break, and we'll be right back. We're back, and we're getting ready to head into the top half of the fourth inning. The Lightning pick up 2 runs in their half of the third, and they lead by a score of 6-1. So Gabrielle Husso, Nicole Bellini, and Danielle Petrudi, 2, 3, and 4 for the Bearcats here in the fourth. And the first pitch is taken for a strike, 0-1. Nice job of pitching here by Villegas in this second game. As that pitch is fouled back to the screen and the count goes 0-2. Diamond allowed a leadoff walk that eventually came around to score, but since then she has completely shut down this Bearcat lineup. And now the Lightning offense has given her a 5-run lead, and the pitch is outside for a ball, 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes the count. And the 1-2 pitch is down low for a ball. That'll even the count up now at 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes the count. Villegas winds. The 2-2 pitch is a swing and a miss, strike 3. So if you count that double play as 2 outs, 9 in a row have now been retired by Villegas, and Bellini will be the batter. Nicole, the last batter to reach safely against Villegas. She singled and drove in the lone Bearcat run of the afternoon, and the first pitch is taken for a strike, 0-1. So no balls, 1 strike to count. Villegas winds. The 0-1 is way up high. back to the screen, and that'll even the count up now at 1-1. So 1 ball, 1 strike to count. Villegas winds the 1-1, is swung on and fouled back to the screen, and that'll run the count now to 1-2. About a half hour or so following the conclusion of this game, it'll be Hunter, CSI versus Hunter, 1 versus 2, for the right to advance into the championship round tomorrow and need just 1 victory for the CUNYAC championship, as that's popped to second, and Polino is there to put that one away for the second out. 2 up, 2 down quickly here for the Bearcats in their half of the fourth, and it'll bring up Danielle Petruti. Petruti grounded into a 1-6-3 double play, a beautiful play by Miranda Diaz to turn that double play in the first inning for the Lightning, so she's 0 for 1. The wind. The first pitch is taken on the outside corner for a strike, 0-1. Villegas really starting to pitch very strong and effectively here against the Bearcats in her second start of the afternoon. The wind and the pitch is up high for a ball. That's going to even the count up now at 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs here. And the pitch is a swing and a miss, 1-2. Petruti couldn't lay off that high, hard one. Swings right through it and now falls behind in the count at 1-2. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. It's swung on and fouled off out of play, and the count will hold at 1-2. One ball, 2 strikes to count. And the 1-2 pitch is up high for a ball, 2-2. Lightning trying to advance into Game 1 tomorrow, Game 5 of the tournament. As that one is blooped over the second baseman's head, and that's going to be in there for a base hit as Polino went back on the ball. She got a glove on it, but couldn't make the play, and that'll be the second hit of the afternoon for the Bearcats. And that's going to break a streak of 10 in a row for Diamond Villegas. And now it'll be up to the shortstop, Victoria Kissling. Kissling struck out in the second. She's 0 for 1. The pitch is a swing and a miss. Strike 1. Quick throw down at first base by Vernon. She's been showing off that strong arm all afternoon. Nearly picked off Petruti at first base, and down 5 runs. She's got to make sure she's not picked off at first base for the Bearcats. And that pitch is a swing and a miss, 0-2. Villegas going right at Kisling and quickly ahead in the count, 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes, and the pitch is swung up, popped up in the air, and that's going to be out of play behind the Baruch dugout, and a nice one-handed catch by one of the Baruch baseball players. And the count holds at 0-2. 2 outs, a runner on first for the Bearcats. And the 0-2 pitch is swung up in the air, popped up in the infield. Villegas comes forward, and she makes the catch for the final out. So the Bearcats get a hit, but that's all the damage they can do. No runs, a hit. 1 batter left, 3.5 in the book, 6-1 Lightning. We'll step aside, take a break. You're watching the 39th Annual CUNYAC Softball Championships right here on CSI Sportsnet, CSIDolphins.com. We're back and we're getting ready now for the bottom half of the fourth inning. The Lightning lead in this game by a score of 6-1, and we're going to have a position switch as Victoria Kisling will go back to the mound. She lost game number one, pitched much better than the final numbers indicated as Baruch really struggled in the field, and that will send Cassandra Lagana, who is right now the losing pitcher here in this game for the Bearcats, over to shortstop. So Kisling comes in to pitch here in the fourth as Lagana pitches innings 1 to 3, and now Lagana will go to shortstop. Miranda Diaz will lead off here for the Lightning. She singled, stole 2 bases, scored, popped to short, and is ahead in the count now 1-0. Kisling pitches, and that's bunted on the plate foul, and that'll even the count up at 1-1. Miranda Diaz leading off here for the Lightning in the bottom half of the fourth inning. Dolphins won their game 8-0 in the sixth. Hunter won their game 9-1 in the fifth as Diaz swings and nubs that one foul, and the count goes to 1-2. So we haven't seen the seventh inning so far here this afternoon in the 2018 CUNYAC Championships. Kisling looking in for the sign. And the 1-2 pitch to Diaz. Nice pitch, a swing and a miss. And it's going to be actually a dropped ball, but getting the ball over to first base in time will be Petrudi. So Diaz will strike out 2-3 for the first out. And that'll bring up the pitcher, Diamond Villegas. Villegas walked twice here in this game against Baruch. The first pitch, a swing and a miss, strike one. No balls, 1 strike now on Villegas. Kisling looking in. Now the 0-1 is swung on, bounce right back through the middle. That'll be in for a base hit. Kisling dropped her glove as the ball went through the middle, but a nice single by Villegas. She's been on base all 3 times here in game number 2, and that's going to bring up the second baseman, Genesis Polino. Genesis looking for her first hit here in this game. She is 0 for 2. And not surprisingly, Villegas will be pinch run for. Good move here by the Lightning. So a pinch runner here for the Lightning. And that will be number 7, Labriska Charles. So Labriska Charles goes down to pinch run here for Villegas. And that'll bring up Genesis Polino. As we mentioned, Genesis 0 for 2 in this game. And she swings and misses at the first pitch, 0-1. Runner on first base, 1 out here for the Lightning here in the bottom half of the fourth inning. The wind and the pitch is swung on and hit slowly towards shortstop. Played there by Lagana. The throw over to first base in time for the out. So Polino grounds out 6-3 for the second out. Charles will go down to second base, and with 2 outs now, it's going to bring up the first baseman, Tiffany Adams. Adams walked and scored, doubled and scored. She's 1 for 1, been on base twice here in this game. The wind and the pitch. Inside for a ball, 1-0. We mentioned earlier Victoria Kisling pitched a very strong game against a very good Dolphin lineup, but several errors and unmade plays by the Bearcats early in that game took them out of any opportunity as that's blooped into right field, and that's going to be in for a base hit. Rounding first, going into second base will be Adams. Coming around to score easily will be Charles. It's an RBI double to the opposite field by Tiffany Adams. She's now been on base all 3 times. She picks up another RBI, and the Bearcats now lead by a score of 7-1, and Caitlin Vernon will come to the plate as the potential game-winning run here in the bottom half of the 4th, with a runner on second base and 2 outs. The wind, the first pitch to Vernon is fouled back, up over our heads, out of play, 0-1. Vernon singled, doubled, scored twice, and drove in a run here in this game for the Lightning as she bunts that one foul and now falls behind in the count, 0-2. So the Lightning getting a lot of production in their 1 through 5 hitters here in game number 2, with the exception of Genesis Polino. And they've used that to ride to a 7-1 lead here in game 3. The pitch is up high for a ball, 1-2. One ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs, a runner on second here for the Lightning as they look to continue to build on their 7-1 lead. The pitch is up high for a ball. That's going to even the count up now at 2-2. Adriana Gill on deck here for the Lightning, as Kisling trying to work herself out of trouble for the Bearcats. The 2-2 up high for a ball, 3-2. Open base at first. Adriana Gill on deck. Gill 1 for 1 with a 2 RBI single in the first for the Lightning. The wind and the pitch, and that hits her. So Vernon goes down to first base, the first hit batsman of the afternoon for Kisling, and that will put the potential game-winning run now on first base with 2 outs, first and second, and Adriana Gill, the right fielder, will be the batter. So we may have another pinch runner here. It looks like we will for the Lightning. So that's going to be, excuse me, that's going to be number 21, Destiny Rodin. Rodin will come in to pinch run now for Vernon. So Rodin will pinch hit, Gill the batter, and the first pitch is down low for a ball, 1-0. 2 runners on now for the Lightning with 2 outs. A 2-out double by Adams and a 2-out hit batsman by Vernon, and the Lightning trying to push home a couple of more runs and put themselves in a position to close out the Bearcats in the 5th. The pitch is bunted foul. No, it's going to be a foul ball, and that's going to be even the count up at 1-1. Gill had that big RBI, 2 RBI single with 2 out in the first that opened up a 2-1 Lightning lead to 4-1. She's looking for more. She tomahawks that one deep down the left field line, but foul. And then out of play, and the count goes to 1-2. Park playing in very shallow at third base, even with 2 strikes. As that ball thrown back onto the field, so we'll have to wait here for a minute for it to get gathered by the umpire, and now we're ready to get underway with the count 1-2. Kisling winds the 1-2 pitch, and that's going to hit Gill, and she's going to go to first. So we had now a hit batter in this game, but now back-to-back hit batsmen. And now all of a sudden the Lightning with the potential game-winning run in scoring position, 2 outs. And that's going to bring up Samantha Torres. Torres struck out, sacrificed, and drove in the run on the squeeze. So she's 0 for 1 here in this game. And the first pitch is a swing and a miss, 0-1. No balls, 1 strike now on Torres. The Lightning threatening to open up their lead to 8 runs if they could get a base hit to the outfield here, as that pitch is way up high for a ball, and that's going to even the count up at 1-1. And this is the 3rd time that Kissling has come into the game. She started game number 1 against the Dolphins, pitched the first 2 innings, then came back in for innings 5 and 6, and now came back here in the 4th for the Bearcats in their 3rd in this game, as that pitch is a swing and a miss, 1-2. One ball, 2 strikes to count. And the pitch is swung on, foul back. Pretty good cut that time by Torres. And the count holds at 1-2. So 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Bases loaded here for the Lightning. They already lead 7-1, and they're looking for more. The 1-2 pitch is swung on, skied up in the air, in the infield. Coming over is the pitcher Kissling, and she makes the catch in foul territory for the 3rd out. So the Lightning score a run, but that's all the damage they could do. 4 in the book, 7-1, Lehman in the lead. We'll step aside, take a break, and we'll be right back. We're back, and we're heading into the top half of the 5th inning. The Bearcats able to dodge a bullet as the Lightning were able to load the bases with 2 outs, but Samantha Torres fouled out to the pitcher for the final out of the inning. So now Baruch will come to bat, trailing by 6 runs here, 7-1 in the top half of the 5th inning. Vijas, Padron, Jaguin, the batters, as that's blooped up to shortstop, and another nice defensive play by Miranda Diaz at short for the 1st out. So Vijas pops up on 1 pitch for the 1st out, and that's going to bring up the second baseman, Che Padron. Che looking for her first hit of the afternoon, 0 for 2 in game 1, 0 for 1 here in game number 2 for the Bearcats. The wind and the first pitch is swung on and foul back, 0-1. Diamond Villegas pitching a great game here for Lehman College. She's allowed just 1 run on 2 hits, and that run, the first batter of the game, Cassandra Lagana, who walked and eventually scored. Villegas winds the pitch, is up high for a ball. That'll even the count up now at 1-1. So 1 ball, 1 strike now. The wind and the pitch is swung on. It hit slowly towards second. Played there nicely by Polino, and she gets it over to Adams in time for the second out. That was a nice play that time by Genesis as the ball went past Villegas, and a nice play by Polino coming in quickly and getting it over to Adams. 2 up, 2 down quickly for the Lightning, and that's going to bring up Amba Jaguarine. Jaguarine struck out in the third. She's 0 for 1. The wind and the first pitch is taken down low for a ball, 1-0. One ball, no strikes to count. And the pitch is taken at the letters on the outside corner for a strike. That'll even the count up at 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs, and the pitch is taken just down low for a ball, 2-1. 2 balls, 1 strike now on Jaguarine. And the pitch is swung on, hit slowly to second. Polino is there once again, and she gets it over to Adams in time for the final out of the inning. So Baruch goes down quickly and quietly in their half of the 5th inning. Nothing across, 4.5 innings in the books. Lightning lead this one by a score of 7-1. We'll step aside and take a break. You're watching the 39th Annual CUNYAC Softball Championships presented by Model Sporting Goods right here on your voice of CSI Sports, CSI Sportsnet, CSIDolphins.com. We're back, and we're getting ready now for the bottom half of the 5th inning. Cruz, Guerrero, and Diaz, 8-9-1 for the Lightning, as Victoria Kissling will go back for her 2nd inning, as that first pitch is fouled off for a strike, 0-1. Stephanie singled, stole 2 bases, popped to short. She's 1 for 2. Here comes the 0-1 pitch as she bunts it back to the mound. Kissling there to play it. The throw over to first base in time for the out. So Cruz out trying to bunt 1-4 for the first out, and that's going to bring up the designated player, Lisette Guerrero, who struck out twice. She's 0 for 2, and it looks like we're going to have a pinch hitter here for Lisette. And we will. So a pinch hitter here for the Lightning. It'll be Haley Davila. Haley, a .214 hitter on the year. Her first at-bat of the afternoon, and she takes the first pitch down low for a ball, 1-0. Kissling ready. The 1-0 pitch is up high for a ball, 2-0. So Davila quickly ahead in the count now, 2-0. Two balls, no strikes, one out, bottom of the fifth, 7-1 Lightning. The pitch. Taken on the outside corner for a strike, 2-1. Miranda Diaz, in the top of the order. On deck here for the Lightning. They lead 7-1, 1-2-2 for the Bearcats, 7-8-0 for the Lightning. The 2-1 pitch is up high for a ball, 3-1, and if you're Kissling here, you don't want to allow Davila, just coming off of the bench after a couple of long games and just batting .214 on the year, to reach base, but that pitch is way up high for a ball 4. So that time Kissling not coming close on her last two pitches, and that's going to bring the potential game-winning run to the plate in Miranda Diaz. And Diaz showing you a lot here this afternoon, playing some great defense. She's scored a couple of runs. She's stolen a bunch of bases and has really played great defense all afternoon in the center of the diamond for the Lightning here this afternoon. Trying to push the Lightning into the championship Saturday round as that first pitch is taken for a ball, and that time Davila got caught a little flat-footed at first base and had to dive back in just in time. Kissling looking in for the sign. Now she's ready. And the 1-0 is swung on, drill down the right field line, foul and out of play. That'll even the count up at 1-1. So 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 1 on, bottom of the fifth. Kissling looking in for the sign. The 1-1 is strung on, and that's drilled into short center field. Bellini coming on strong, and she makes the catch, and Davila gets caught way off of the base. The second time they've been picked off here this afternoon. So Diaz pops up to Bellini, and Davila gets doubled up at first for the final out here in the fifth inning. So the Bearcats end up with nothing across, 5 complete in the book, 7-1 Lightning's lead. We'll step aside, take a break, and be right back. We're back, and we're getting ready now for the top half of the sixth inning. Baruch hanging in this game, trailing by a score of 7-1. As Jasmine Rodriguez will lead off, and she'll swing and foul that one up over our heads at a play, and the count goes to 0-1. Rodriguez struck out in the third. She had a nice at-bat against Villegas, but Villegas kept pounding and pounding until she got the strikeout. So Rodriguez 0 for 1, and now down in the count quickly, 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes to count. Villegas' pitch is down low for a ball, 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes, now the count. The 1-2 pitch swung on, bounced to third. Played there on a couple of hops by Torres, and the throw over to first base in time for the out. So Rodriguez grounds out 5-3 for the first out, and that'll take us back to the top of the order. And Cassandra Lagana. Lagana walked and scored and grounded to short. She's 0 for 1. Villegas winds, and the first pitch to Lagana is a swing and a miss, strike 1. And Villegas having a great game here, despite throwing back-to-back starts in games 2 and 3 of these CUNYAC championships. She's allowed just 1 run and 2 hits to the Bearcats, and just off the plate for a ball, and that'll even the count up now at 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike to count. The pitch. Down low for a ball, 2-1. Bearcats looking for some kind of offensive spark here in this game. They've had just 1 base runner since the first inning. As that pitch is swung on and popped foul out of play, and the count goes to 1-2. That a 2-out single by Danielle Petruti in the 4th. But other than that, it's been all Diamond Villegas as she's mowed down the Bearcats here in this game. The pitch swung on, fouled off once again, and out of play. And the count will hold on Lagana. Villegas winds, the pitch just outside for a ball. So Lagana trying to work her way on base any way possible. The Bearcats need base runners, and the count is now full at 3-2. The 3-2 pitch is taken just down low for a ball, ball 4. That was a close pitch, but Lagana gets her second walk of the afternoon, just the second walk of the game, allowed by Villegas, and Baruch gets a base runner as Gabrielle Husso is the batter. She sacrificed and struck out. She's 0 for 1. The wind, the first pitch is swung on and foul back, 0-1. Game number 4, the winner's game, will take place following the conclusion of this game. Dolphins and Hawks for the right to go directly into the championship round and need just 1 win for the CUNYAC championship. As that pitch is swung on and tomahawked into left field, Rivera is there, and she makes the catch for the second out. So Hueso flies out to Rivera for the second out, and that'll bring up the catcher, the center fielder, Nicole Bellini. Bellini has driven in the only run of the afternoon for the Bearcats. She singled in the first. She's 1 for 2 and has one of the 2 Bearcat hits here in this game. The wind, Villegas' first pitch is low. It gets away from Vernon, and going into second base and into scoring position will be Lagana, as the count now 1-0 on Bellini. So now a runner in scoring position. The count 1-0, and that's driven into right field, but right at the right fielder, Gill, who makes the catch for the final out. So that time Bellini hit the ball right on the button, but Adriana Gill is there to make the final out for the Bearcats in their half of the 6th. No runs, a walk, 1 left, 5.5 in the books, 7-1, Lehman in the lead. We'll step aside and take a break. You're watching the 39th annual CUNYAC Softball Championships right here on your voice of CSI Sports, CSI Sportsnet, CSIDolphins.com. We're back now, and we're getting ready for the bottom half of the 6th inning. Victoria Kissling getting ready for her 3rd inning of work. The Lightning need 2 runs to end the game here in the 6th. The Bearcats looking to try to come up here in the 7th inning and give themselves one more shot of keeping the 2018 season alive. For the Lightning here in their half of the 6th inning, it will be Villegas, Polino, and Adams, 2, 3, and 4. Diamond Villegas has been on base all 3 times here in this game. She's walked twice and singled. She scored a run for the Lightning, and she swings and fouls that one back to the screen, 0-1. No balls, 1 strike now on Villegas. The wind and the 0-1. Nice off-speed pitch that time by Kissling, as she has Villegas way out in front, and she's now down in the count at 0-2. So no balls, 2 strikes to count. As Kissling winds, the 0-2 is swung onto that's drilled deep into right center field. Bellini coming over. It's in between the outfielders, and it's going to be 1 bounce off the wall. Villegas goes into second base standing. It's a long opposite field double for Diamond Villegas. And the Lightning have the leadoff runner on here in the bottom half of the 6th inning, and the game-winning run at the plate in second baseman Genesis Polino. Genesis 0 for 3 here in this game, and she represents the game-winning run for the Lightning. Kissling winds, and the first pitch to Polino is taken down low for a ball, 1-0. One ball, no strikes to count. The wind, the 1-0 is popped up in the air right behind us. And that'll even up the count now at 1-1. One ball, 1 strike to count. As Kissling ready. The 1-1, nice off count now, 1-2, and Kissling has done that with a couple of batters since coming into the game, and she's pitched very well for the Bearcats all afternoon long. Kissling winds. Here comes the 1-2 up high for a ball. That'll even the count up now with 2-2. Tiffany Adams, who's also been on base all 3 times here in this game against the Bearcats, including 2 doubles, on deck. So a little bit of a conversation there with Polino, and now she's back in the box, even in the count at 2-2. The wind, and that pitch is way outside for a ball, and going into third base easily on the wild pitch will be Villegas. So she'll be down at third base with no one out, and now a full count on the second baseman, Genesis Polino. Three balls, 2 strikes. And the 3-2 pitch is drilled down the right field line, foul, and the count holds at 3-2. So Polino having a good at-bat here against Kissling. Villegas doubled and went to third on the wild pitch, so she's on third base with nobody out. As Kissling looks in for the sign, the 3-2 pitch is ripped foul down the left field line this play, and out of play, and the count will hold at 3-2. 3 balls, 2 strikes, no one out. We're in the bottom half of the 6th inning, game number 3 of 4 here at the 39th Annual CUNYAC Softball Championships. Kissling ready once again the 3-2 pitch, and that's blooped into right center field, and that's going to be in for a base hit, and that ball is going to roll all the way to the wall. Rounding second and heading into third will be Polino. The throw will not be in time. It's a stand-up RBI triple by Genesis Polino, and the Lehman Lightning are now 60 feet away from advancing into Championship Saturday here, as the Lightning now lead by a score of 7-1. And they'll bring up the first baseman, Tiffany Adams. So the Lightning now 60 feet away from advancing into the championship round. Game number 4 between the Dolphins and Hunter College will take place approximately 40 minutes after the conclusion of this game. We'll go right off the air when this game ends, and we'll be on the air about 10 minutes or so before the start of game number 4 between the Dolphins and Hunter College. Both teams winning earlier this afternoon. The Dolphins winning behind the shutout pitching of Nicolette Trapani, as Trapani throws a 2-hit shutout for the Dolphins and strikes out 6 to win her 10th game. For Hunter College, Nicole Gazzone allowed just 1 run in 5 innings of pitching, as Hunter beat Lehman by a score of 9-1. As Cassandra Lagano will come back into the game, as we have a pitching change here for the Bearcats. Kissling will go back to shortstop, and Tiffany Adams will try to end the game right here for the Lightning. The Bearcats have the infield in. Lagano winds. The first pitch is taken for a strike, 0-1. Oh, 0-1 the count. That pitch is up high for a ball, 1-1. So, 1 ball, 1 strike to count. The wind and the pitch is a swing and a miss, 1-2. Bearcats need a strikeout here to try to extend this game. The wind, the 0-2 pitch is taken down low for a ball. I believe the count is 2-2, and it is. 2 balls, 2 strikes to count. The wind, the 2-2 pitch, it swung on, and that's drilled into right field. Coming on and making the catch is going to be the right field Jangarine. I'm not sure why the Lightning didn't tag up on that play and try to come home and score the game-winning run, but they're still in great position as they have still just 1 out and a runner on third base, as Adams hit that one right on the screws, but right to right field for the first out, and that'll bring up the catcher, Caitlin Vernon. Caitlin has also been on base all 3 times here in this game against the Bearcats. One ball, no strikes to count, and the pitch is on the outside corner. That's going to even the count up at 1-1. One ball, one strike to count. The pitch to Vernon, and she bunts that one back to the mound. Lagana plays, and the flip to the plate is in time as Vernon will be able to go to second. Boy, the Lightning not playing that one very smart as they had Vernon, who's been hitting the cover off the ball all afternoon against Baruch, try to bunt the ball. It went right back to Lagana, and then Polino kind of hesitated at third base before coming home. She was out by about 10 or 15 feet. So Vernon ends up going to second on the fielder's choice. Polino will be out 1-2 at the plate, and now Vernon will look to steal third base, and she does. So now Baruch with the game-winning run at third base, but now with 2 outs. And Adriana Gill, the batter, and she'll be ahead in the count at 1-0. The 1-0 pitch is fouled up over the screen out of play. That'll leave the count up at 1-1. One ball, one strike, 2 out. The game-winning run at third. Baruch trying to get back in the dugout and give themselves one opportunity here against the Lightning. The 1-1 is swung on, and that's popped up in the air. That could be trouble. Drifting back, though, is the second baseman, and a nice play by Padron, who makes the catch for the final out of the inning. So the Lightning had the game-winning run on third base, but could not bring it home. So Baruch will get one final opportunity to bat here in the 7th inning. 1 run for the Lightning, 6 innings in the books, 8-1 Lightning lead. We'll step aside, take a break. You're watching the 39th Annual CUNYAC Softball Championships, sponsored by Model Sporting Goods, right here on your voice of CSI Sports, CSI Sportsnet, CSIDolphins.com. We're back, and we're getting ready now for the top half of the 7th inning. Baruch's last chance, and they trail by a score of 8-1, and it looked like the Lightning might be able to end the game in their half of the 6th inning as Genesis Polino drove home Diamond Villegas with a 1-out triple. She was at third base with nobody out, but then Adams lined out hard to right field, and Polino did not attempt to score. Then Caitlin Vernon bunted into a fielder's choice, and Polino was thrown out at the plate. Vernon ended up able to get all the way to third, but then Gill popped out to second base to end the threat. So the Bearcats with an opportunity to bat here in the 7th inning. It'll be Petrudi, Kissling, and Vijas, the 4, 5, and 6 hitters for the Bearcats, as Petrudi is now down in the count. The wind and the pitch is swung, bounce over to first base, and a nice defensive play that time by Adams as she'll step on the bag for the first out, and that will bring up the pitcher, Victoria Kissling. Kissling doing a nice job this afternoon on the mound for the Bearcats, and she's been 0 for 2 at the bat here in this game this afternoon. The wind and the first pitch by Villegas is taken for a strike, 0-1. Once again, a reminder, we'll go off the air after the conclusion of this game. It'll be about a 40-minute break before we get ready for Game 4. We'll be on the air about 10 minutes before the start of Game number 4 between the Dolphins and the Hawks. But Lehman is trying to close out Baruch's season and advance into championship Saturday tomorrow. That pitch grounded over to third base, played there on a couple of hops by Torres, and the throw over to first base scooped out nicely by Adams, and now the Bearcats are down to their final out. So Caitlin Vikas will be the batter. She grounded to short and popped to short. A nice defensive play by Diaz, one of many nice defensive plays by Miranda here this afternoon. So she's 0 for 2 and falls behind in the count now, 0-1. Villegas ready. That pitch is down low for a ball, 1-1. Lightning need base runners. They're down to their final out here in the 7th inning in game number 3 of the CUNYAC Championships. 8-1, the Lightning in the lead. And the pitch is way outside for a ball, 2-1. Two balls, one strike to count. The 2-1 pitch is swung on and fouled off out of play. And the Bearcats are down to their final strike. The wind. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Is a swing and a miss. Strike 3. So Diamond Villegas pitches a great complete game here for the Lightning, and they defeat the Baruch College by a final score of 8-1 as Baruch College is eliminated from the 2018 CUNYAC Championships, and Lehman College will be back to play tomorrow in game number 5. Starting time for the next game, approximately 5:45. We'll be back on the air approximately 5:35. We'll step aside and take a break. Lehman College eliminates Baruch by a final score of 8-1 to advance into Championship Saturday. So this is Mike Babusky saying so long and thanks for watching. Don't forget to come back in about 35 minutes or so. We'll get you ready for game number 4 as the College of Staten Island gets ready to face Hunter College. You've been watching exclusive coverage of the 2018 CUNYAC Championships on your voice of CSI Sports and CUNYAC Championship coverage, CSI Sportsnet, CSIDolphins.com. Stay tuned. We'll be back soon.